Well, I'm Alan Dale from GaleForceWins. I'm having a wonderful time talking to the good people here at Kean College. You've all come together over the last couple of days, share ideas, really a collision of people that all have a different part to play in the college system. And they're all listening to one another, looking at ways to improve everything that they do. So the end result is that when a student enters Kean College, they get a great experience. It's wonderful to see people collaborate in this fashion. Everybody here feels listened or heard. They understand that what they're saying really matters, and they're fashioning a future that's going to benefit for all of them. So on that note, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us what you do.
Well, my name is Andrew Mercer, and I'm an educator. I've been teaching for almost 30 years now. But with Kean College, I'm working with them on their AI efforts. And that takes a lot of forms. It could be professional development for the instructors. It could be cohorts specific to different audiences. For example, Stella Circle clients. We've done 2 cohorts on practical uses of AI for Stella Circle clients. We've also done a day-long programs for the Association for New Canadians and Stella Circle staff. So I work with Kean to deliver practical AI application to a variety of different audiences.
Okay, tell me where AI is in the education system now, in the academic sort of ecosystem. Talk to me about it.
Well, I appreciate that question, but you know, it's a long answer.
We have the whole internet.
You know, oh, we do? Excellent. Okay, great. People started working on artificial intelligence in the 1950s, you know, and Isaac Asimov writing books like Caves of Steel, which is about artificial intelligence in the 1950s. So we've had artificial intelligence around for a long time, but it's only been available to the general public for a couple of years. So in that couple of years, we're racing to try to find the applications of how it can be used in education, and that's a big question. Going back further. Confucius, like 400 BC, he was teaching critical thinking and dialogue, and so we've been teaching and learning for a long time, and we still don't have it figured out.
And we don't have it figured out. It's constantly evolving, right?
It is, and now we have AI. What's that doing for us? Well, it's actually moving us into really new, exciting, pedagogically sound areas. So I think that it offers some new opportunities for us as educators to really meet the needs of our learners, and in a way that we've never seen. I think Confucius would be really excited.
I love the way you put that. It is exciting, right? Because when you think about it, we're talking about things we don't even understand where they're going yet. We have no idea 10 years what this is all going to look like, let alone 20, 30, or 40 years, right?
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
It is exciting, right?
Yeah.
So how are you entering into the conversation with the various groups now? What is that baseline that you're offering them around AI?
As a baseline, fundamentally the most important part would be that AI can be used to address the needs of every individual learner. So every single learner in the world has a unique need as a learner. Myself, I have ADHD. I also have dyslexia. So I have needs that are unique to me. Plus, I'm an auditory learner. I learn best by hearing people talk, and I express myself best by talking. I talk too much. So everybody has their own unique way of learning and their own unique needs. So AI has the ability to filter any information that's going to a learner in a way that would meet their needs specifically. We've never seen that before. That's never been possible. So if we imagine, let's say, for example, grade 7. If every grade 7 student had an AI tool that they could put in anything they need to learn, nuclear physics, but the AI understands who they are as a learner, then it will give it to them in exactly the format that is going to work best for their learning. That grade 7 goes to grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. By the time you get to grade 12, they have full ownership of their learning. They're different learners.
I mean, that's utopian, the way you describe that.
You know what?
How far are we from that?
The tools, the AI tools, I'm going to say we're pretty much there now. It can have an extremely positive impact today. There's always going to be improvement. 25 years from now, it'll still be improving. We can't wait for that. We can't wait for it to be perfect. So things need to be available. As they're available, we should be using. But that being said, the tools today are extremely powerful and extremely customizable. So an adult learner at Kean College can tell the AI specifically what their learning needs are. They can go through the metacognitive process of figuring out how do I like to learn? I don't like big words, or I get distracted early in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Or maybe they like to have things done in a flip chart, things like that. Well, whatever that is, they tell the AI, and the AI says, from now on, I'm only going to give it to you that way. That's perfect. And that's available today.
Wow. And when you think about like the power of that, if you can meet people where they are in their ability to learn, how much more they can learn.
Yeah.
Because too many people are held back because the teaching is not the way they get it. It's not the way, I'm that guy too. I'm like you. I don't learn the same as everybody else. I think nature. Best at a certain time, right?
That's human nature. It's human nature for teachers to gravitate to teach the way that they learn. That's just human. We're hardwired that way. So it's not a wrong, it's just the way it is. And I'm guilty of that myself. Ideally, I'd want to be able to have every learner in my class be met at 100% at their level, with their preferences. But unfortunately, I'm only human. Mm-hmm. Well, now we have a tool that can up that game, that can be used to help that. And also, that's from a learner standpoint. From a teacher standpoint, the AI can help me understand better and address better those unique needs. So if I'm looking at developing a new lesson plan for a class that I'm going to teach, I can say, now I need this to accommodate all the learning styles and all the learning preferences. And if AI says, have you thought about this? No, I haven't. I haven't thought about that. Right. So it's informing me, it's educating me to make me a better teacher. And God knows I need the help.
In anything like this, there's two sides, yep. Right? What should we be cautious of when we sort of enter into this journey with AI?
That's a good question. The ethics of AI use is something that we really need to be aware of, and we need to be talking. It needs to be a constant dialogue about the ethics of AI. And I wouldn't say that we need to just throw ethics to the wind and just embrace every tool. No, I'm not saying that. But what I do think we need to do is understand what these challenges of the ethical challenges of using AI could be, and then start working towards solutions to that. Just some of the baseline ones is privacy. That's a baseline one. So when somebody, like I gave the example of how AI can be used to customize the learning needs of every individual, and that's true. Well, how much are you going to put in about yourself? I don't mind saying that I have ADHD because that's the way I am. I don't mind saying that. Some people may not be comfortable with putting that into an AI. Mm-hmm. And it's like if you go to Facebook and you upload information into Facebook, well, there's a privacy concern. Same thing with AI. So we need to be aware of what these privacy concerns could be. In some cases, there are AI models that can be subscribed to by organizations that have high levels of security. So in that case, some of these concerns can be mitigated. In other cases, if you're using a publicly available tool that's just available maybe for free, there isn't any expectation of privacy. So just like uploading private information to Facebook, probably not a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Where is Kean on this sort of trajectory right now with AI?
Well, I will say from my point of view, as somebody who's advising Kean to some degree and helping with rolling out educational classes and things, I would say that Kean has recognized that this is a extremely powerful educational tool. And Kean has recognized that AI has the ability to empower their students and empower their teachers. So there's a recognition of that. I said earlier that AI has only been available to the public a couple of years. So there aren't a lot of organizations that have really been able to establish a roadmap for themselves in AI and then get going and have policies in place. There are very few organizations that have been able to do that at this point, like post-secondary especially. I've worked with a lot of organizations across Canada, and I'm saying Kean is ahead of the game in that regard, because they recognize what's there, they're rolling it out, they're offering courses on AI, they're educating their instructors on AI, they're planning to educate their students on AI. So that they are way ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I think that, being a career college, there's built-in agility to that. You can move a little faster than some of your other partners in the academic ecosystem, allowing you to do that. And I also think that in the career college, there's a more acceptance of some risk. They're willing to go with 70% of the solution and figure it out as they go. And I think that it's those sort of mindsets that work best when you look at something like AI, because it's evolving so fast.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. In some institutions that I work with respect to AI being used in education, they're very risk adverse. Where it's not in the mandate of some organizations to take on a certain level of risk. I can understand that. And Kean is very agile, but also very cognizant of what the risk level could be. Mm-hmm. So while we are embracing AI as a tool and a future, we are taking steps in a very responsible way. So I think I really like the idea of Kean being so agile and being so willing to investigate and explore these new ideas. But I really respect the fact that they're not just saying, Kean doesn't say as an organization, oh, we'll just move ahead regardless of the ethical considerations. No, that's not things have to be really, the rigor has to be there. The academic rigor, the privacy concerns, and Kean addresses these. So I love to see that. I fear when institutions don't engage in the reflective process that Kean engages in. So I feel really good about that.
We'll come back, we'll talk about this next year, perhaps at this exact same event next year. Do you envision big changes between now and then? When we have this conversation next year, it'll look completely different.
I gave up predicting a long time ago. It's hard to know where we're going, especially the rate of development, the rate of rollout in the AI world it's unbelievable. It's blisteringly fast. So I wrote an article for an academic journal a while ago, and I made a quote in it about the rollout rate of AI. And I woke up one Sunday morning and said, I published that was the rollout rate. That's wrong. That's no way it could have been that fast. So I checked my phone, and it was right.
Right.
It's so fast. The rollout rate's so fast. It's almost unbelievable. And I had myself convinced I had made a mistake. But what I will say is the tools that we have now available to us, 2024, for us to implement the tools that we have right now would be very exciting, very educationally sound. And it would really be pushing the levels of what we could do at an organization here as Kean, what we could do. This is more than enough today. So we have a lot of work to do to get the tools we have into the hands of the students, into the hands of the educators, the instructors, and have them using it. That's a lot to do right now. By the time next year comes around, we will have even greater capacity as a society in AI. And we will be then, once again, considering how can we put these new tools into place? How can we roll out these new innovations? So I wouldn't want to guess of what's going to come, but I will say that it will be exciting, and we will be engaged in the same reflective process at Kean as we are now to make sure that these tools are used in the best way and the most safe way and the most pedagogically sound way possible.
So we're going to leave it there because I want to pick this conversation up a year from now to continue the excitement around, because I would argue, and maybe you can correct me here, this is probably one of the biggest changes you've ever seen in the education sector?
Yeah, I've been in the education sector since the early 90s. And that was during the beginnings of widespread internet rollout. So I've been around for a long time and saw a lot of technologies that have really been a waste of time. Some of them have been not pedagogically, not educationally necessary. And we've seen some that have been. And when I was doing my pre-service training at Memorial University as a teacher, I was in the field and I had a seasoned teacher say to me, I don't know why you're bothering with this computer stuff. Computers are just a fad. So at the time I was going, oh, I don't think so. I don't believe it is. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think so. And sure enough, it hasn't been a fad. AI is the same sort of thing. There are some people who go, oh, I don't know about this AI. Well, I think it is. I think it's pretty big. So when it comes to how big is it, I think AI could rival the rollout of the internet in the early 90s as being that important for education. I'm not sure if it would be more important or less important, but it could rival it. So I would say that if that was the beginning of my teaching career, when I was pre-service teacher, and I've been teaching for pretty much 30 years now, pretty much, and we have AI, it's almost like a bookend for me. So it's an exciting time.
Appreciate your perspective. Thank you for being in the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your vision on this.
Thank you.